Join in the revolution. Let's AI podcast, the ultimate solution.
Okay, this is Leland Best coming to you from Best Live TV along the Shiawassee River. I was just testing a few things out before we went ahead and said hello to all of you out there. Waiting for Leland to show up on the set. Looks like he had a little bit of things messing with him over there. It says, do I wait? Nope, I'm live. Lee's working out a little bit of video over there on the other side of things. And if anything, we're going to try to catch up with things next week. All right, he's on his way. We were just kind of hanging out a little bit ago, and he wanted to put together the man on the street for the AI today, and things just didn't work out the way we wanted to. So we're just going to give him a little bit of time to get back in here. And then when he does, we'll get the show going. So I just hope everybody's having a good time. I'm going to connect up with VMix Social while we're waiting for him. So if you're out there and you want to be able to be part of the show, make sure you head over to the Facebook page or the YouTube channel, because we're not monitoring any of the feeds from anywhere else but those two locations. So you have to make sure you're on one of those feeds. And get those connected in just a second. A lot going on in AI, and we've got a couple of really cool things to show you guys today. Okay. We do have a live stream going on YouTube, and you're probably going to have to go look for it on the live section. It's not going to be under the podcast section. I did not schedule the feed before we started.
Now, say something.
Say something.
I hear you.
All right, cool. All right. So we'll just cut a nice little intro back into that again, Lee. And I do it like this, right? I just start with this little thing, and then I go back over here and I do this little thing, and I fade for a second in here, and then go to here, and then go back to here, and then go back to here. That's me frozen like we were earlier. So I was playing with some cool titling today, Lee. I decided I was going to make it so that when I came out, the title would come in 3 seconds later and then disappear 5 seconds after that, and then we were good to go. So I wasn't doing that before, so this time
using triggers for that.
Yeah, and I want to do it for all of these, but for now we're just kind of set up for the singles. So welcome. How are you today, Lee?
I'm crazy.
You're crazy?
Well, you know, I've been working on this video thing, and it's been, you know, last minute kind of stuff. So anyway,
what was the problem? Tell me what was going on, Lee. What were you trying to do?
Well, the problem was the lack of time. I was trying to do get this new video for us set up. I got it done, but I just ran just a little bit out of time to get it on the air. So
that happens, though.
That's all right.
How many times have we actually had things that we wanted to put on the air that never made it to air?
Every week, I think, is the way it works. So where's the rest of the gang today? What are they hiding from us? What's going on?
AI must have got them finally.
You know, took them out. Well, that's the problem. We'll have to find some new non-AI friends.
Well, I know Mr. Troca, Chris has a family get together every third, fourth Sunday. So it's once out of the month. We knew Chris wasn't going to be with us. Greg has not been with us since the first couple, but that was
what about Brad? Where's he at today?
Brad is in the middle of his house being sold out from under where he's at. So they're showing the house on Sundays, so he has to kind of be out of the house, which makes it difficult to be on the show. And then he's going to have to move if they do sell the house. So there's a possibility we might not see Brad for 2 or 3 weeks. He just told me that today. And then we've got Ross. Just happened to be his youngest son's birthday today. So
that's right. Yeah,
he stayed home with family, which is
good for him.
Family always comes first.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's where it's at.
What's news, dude? We were gonna have the big AI on the street come in and say some news for us. Should we still?
Yeah, so we'll have that maybe next week or before then. Maybe we'll do it as a separate video. But we're gonna have a new person join the team.
Yeah.
Name is Nicola Vector. He's a really smart guy, and he is going to be our tech AI reporter.
Awesome. I can't wait to see what this guy does. So this is actually a creation of yours that you put together with AI. Can you give us a little bit of an explanation? And I mean, we'll go in depth with it next time when they actually see him and meet him, but tell us kind of how we're doing this and what we're planning.
Oh, wow. I'm going to pull back the curtain and show all my secrets.
No, just give them an idea of what we're doing here.
Well, So what happens is I have this character I created called Nicola Vector. He has a whole backstory I've created for him. He is from the year 2042, and he run back and forth between here and there. And he's a character. He's got big fuzzy hair, looks a little bit like Einstein, lab coat kind of a character.
Gotcha.
And I use him. I put a voice to him. I've created this voice for him that really people say really fits perfectly.
Mhm.
And using text to speech, and I've been using him to do what I call over on a YouTube channel at Nerd Gizmos, where I do a quiz show. But haven't have had time to work on that right. So anyway, so I'm using that same character for as our reporter. He's pretty cool, and I think you guys will have a lot of fun.
That should be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited because we're getting a chance to apply the AI here on the show a little more so than just like what I do, which is to create the agenda or some of the content that comes on the show, some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes a little bit to keep you guys informed. But now we're going to start bringing it to the front and actually use it for you so you guys can see
Yeah.
it.
I've got lots of examples I could bring if you guys wanted to. Like the
Yeah.
other one I'm doing is the Cat Gizmos, which you know about.
Mhm.
And that has a character called Chester. He's an orange cat, and he has his own persona, and he does a newscast. He does a reaction videos to these humorous cat videos and his own, and it's got his own personality
Mhm.
type thing, and it's all done via AI. And it's interesting how I've trained these guys to speak in a certain way, use certain language and verbs and words and things like that. Anyway.
No, that's cool. I like the idea that you're applying it for mostly the faceless YouTube video stuff. And I'm looking to do the same type of thing. I always tried doing that with some of the videos that I was making in Unreal Engine 3 of some cartoon characters.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I had those guys as like overlays on top of introductions or explainer videos and things like that, that were just to walk people through a system or help them through a tutorial or whatever. I think it's a great idea. I've always wanted to make those types of avatars, and now they're making these human looking avatars as voiceover people on a video. You see that a lot,
Yeah.
like an explainer video for a brand or a product, like a software service.
Yeah.
They'll have a little explainer person in the corner talking to you to tell you how to use the software. And
Well,
that
look,
was generated with that.
I'm all about making education fun, interesting, and entertaining,
Mhm.
especially if it's a technical concept, photography, whatever.
Yeah.
And so anything you can do to make it more interesting and more fun for people means they're going to learn more. And that's the whole concept behind my approach is how do I apply this creativity to these new capabilities? I've always wanted, I have Unreal Engine, looked at it, tried to play with it. Boy, that would be where I really want to go is complete 3D characters. I'm just not there yet.
Well, what you'd want to do with that, if you're going to look at 3D characters in Unreal, where you want to go is over to metahumans, and metahumans are the kind of the side shoot of what it takes to build an actual 3D character that looks human, not a cartoonish type Pixar looking model of a
Right.
human or anything
A
like that.
3D,
These are
not a
real.
2D kind of an
Yeah, it's
image.
like that
Yeah.
avatar that I always show of myself, which I might
Right.
have it here somewhere in the list. I'll bring it up here shortly. That was all made on meta. Well, here it is right here.
It's
This
amazing.
is a metahuman. So this is built in a 3D engine on Unreal, and you can alter these models in a lot of different ways. And you can basically take one human looking person that might be completely white skin, blue eyes, no hair, big ears, wide nose, whatever, and merge them with another character that might have smaller eyes, closer together, smaller ears, with a brighter, wider forehead or whatever, and make a new character out of that. So there's some really neat ways. I've developed these several times in the past, and I'm in the process actually of learning how to animate the voice over with this. Now it can be done. The way that's done is with an iOS device that's mapping your face in 3D in real time, and it gets connected to the meta-human via a voice application that is syncing in real time with the iPhone app and meta-humans. And
Yeah.
then you can bring that into an Unreal production and actually talk in real time through a meta-human on a live production. So that gets really deep.
You ought to look into a program. The ones I've been using is by Real Illusion
Yeah.
called Character Creator. And then that's kind of where you create the character. And it does the same kind of thing. I can take a photo and map it over to a to a 3D model's face.
Oh, cool.
Animate it. And then from there, you take it and you move it into their next program called iClone 8, and it will do all the animation stuff. And it also, you can export to Unreal as well, so they work together. And the iClone does the lip sync and all that kind of stuff.
Really?
Pretty amazing stuff.
So you want to see some real fun when it comes to AI?
Yeah.
All right. I came across this the other day. Google's DeepMind has been training robots. But you won't believe what kind of robots or what they're training them on. So let's take a look over here. These are Google's DeepMind soccer robots. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So imagine what it might take. Now, there's not going to be any audio to this footage, but what do you see here, Lee, when you think about this?
Wow.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got two little autonomous beings that, one, need to know where on the grid they are. Okay?
Right.
They also need to know their elevation, their height, how to move their limbs, and then they're also going to have to be able to target that ball. They're going to have to be able to target the opponent and know that they're in their way. Now look at that. Fell down, got right back up again. Fell on his back, got right back up again. I find that amazing.
That is amazing.
That these two autonomous robots that are now trained in AI. Okay,
that guy's not doing too well, is he? That Mr. Purple guy. He's
not particular, but look, he's about to score. He's about to score.
Yeah, almost. Oh, he did.
Just about in there. So
That's
when
funny.
I see stuff like this, I think, oh my God, before long, we're going to have robotic football games on TV because rock'em sock'em robot boxing matches, those kinds of things where we'll be able to actually see these things do something in real time autonomously on their own.
Well,
because
when you
they've been
think about it,
programmed to
it's
play.
really, it's a natural progression when you think about it, because you're taking gaming and you're merging it with sports, which now gaming has become a sport, of course. But so now you're just taking it into physical realm.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
It does. And now we can imagine what everybody's complaining about. I hear all these, or I see all these memes on Facebook right now. Y'all are doing it wrong. I don't want an AI to write stuff for me and make movies for me. I want it to be able to do the dishes and clean the house so that I can sit around and write and make movies.
Right. Yep.
So,
hey, bud, bring me another beer, will you?
Yes. And this is halfway to that point, I think, because now we've got a robot that can follow a direction and perform a task. And they've been doing that, but now it's kind of give them the go and just let them see what they do. That's what they're doing.
Maybe we're getting this. Maybe we're getting this. Maybe Elon's got this wrong. Maybe the self-driving car should have a robot in it, and then that could be the driver, the chauffeur.
That I actually like. I don't know why, but that seems respectable.
Well, that way, if you have a wreck, it's his fault, not you.
Can't blame it on the car, blame it on the box.
That's right.
I don't know where else to go with that.
I don't.
So what news did you have for us today, Lee? Anything exciting?
Well, there's a couple of things going on as usual. One is that Microsoft is blowing the whistle or sounding the alarm on the elections, which we of course heard of before. Nothing new there, but they're saying that they have some proof that North Korea and China are working together to try and affect elections, not just ours, but also in India and in Taiwan. So that's an issue. Of course, that's the big fear I think everybody has, that of all this stuff. That, and of course maybe losing your job. That one I think is less of an issue, quite honestly.
Well, I did see one thing happen over the weekend that I kind of expected. Okay, Governor Newsom, is it Newcomb?
Newsom.
Newsom?
Could be Newcomb, though.
Who knows what's going to happen before long. You know, he raises the minimum wage on restaurant workers to $20 an hour.
Right.
Well, guess what they did?
They lost
replaced
their
them
job and then they put in automation.
bunch of kiosks with
Yeah.
automations.
Well,
They're
look,
cheaper.
it
Why not?
well, it makes sense. I mean, I didn't say this, I don't think out loud, but think about it. Have you ever been to a drive-through that couldn't be done by an AI system better than the person that you are talking through the speaker most of the time, and the food actually
No.
show up in the bag, the right stuff you drove home, looking, so this isn't what I ordered, kind of a thing?
I honestly believe fast food restaurants could run better autonomously.
Yeah. So at
And you
least
wouldn't have
partially.
people spitting on your food either. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
just
Oil. What's
until
this
we teach
oil
them
in
to.
here? That would
Yeah,
be
we
the
don't want to
bot
teach them
spitting
how
on
to
our food.
spit. That would be the worst thing, right? I did want to touch on a couple other things that popped up. Google's got some new AI agents, I think, that Ross was going to discuss, but he's not going to be able to talk about them. So, I mean, obviously, we talked about chatbots last week for a bit, and I want to kind of take you, Lee, through a chatbot of your own. So whoops, I got some audio playing here on Google's thing. I wanted to bring this up real quick. So, is that playing through? Probably.
I saw a video.
Yeah, I wanted to just cover this. Listen to what he has to say here a second. I think I can pump this through. There we go. All right, so these are the agents Google's coming up with. I might be doubling that audio up. Hold on a second.
I'm not hearing any audio through my
Oh, you're not
headset,
getting
but
that?
no, but it could be on Facebook, I'm sure.
I think it is. If not, we've got a recording. We'll fix all this up. But
Okay.
this is what they're doing out here on these agents on Google. And it is playing out to everyone else. Sorry if you can't hear this, Lee. I'm trying to get it to you.
That's all right. You can do the play-by-play.
It's all about breaking them down into similar aspects of what we're doing with sales bots over at our builds that Chris, I, and Ross have. They're more based on individual customer agents, which rather than just coming up with a generalized, all-knowing chat bot, you have custom agents that do particular tasks that can literally hand off jobs from one agent to another agent. Over the weekend, Ross and I were able to go pretty deep into some of this aspect of agents, but this is a long recording. I'll leave a link for this later. Google started to mention, employees and workspaces and things like that. So let me just cut out of that because I don't want this to take away with the audio that's going on there. We managed to birth a bot from another bot over the week that we just passed. And what that means is we had an AI bot create another AI bot on the fly. And that was a pretty amazing point in where we're at on development, because now what that allows us to do is have, say, we add an AI chat widget to a Facebook page. Okay. We identify that Facebook page as a persona and we say, this is AI life insurance agent Ava, let's say. And we've been using that term Ava as AI virtual assistant, AI VA. So now you've got this agent sitting on a Facebook page waiting for somebody to talk to her. And she has a little chat widget down in the corner that can discuss matters with her. So she's going to go have someone say hi to her. And now she's in this discussion with someone about whatever it is they're looking for, whether it's knowledge about the business, how to buy something, how to find something, or what direction they need to go in. Or they just want support on their bill or whatever they ordered last, something like that. Well, let's say the bot comes across something that it's not sure how to handle, or there are other bots that have been created. You could have one of these customer service bots handed off to a sales agent bot, or have that customer service bot instantly create a customer sales agent that could handle the call and then take over. So there's a lot going on that end of it, which we didn't really see coming right away, but it was almost another evolutionary step that takes place here.
Well, there are two things that I think of when I hear that. Number one, I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, what? I don't want to talk to a bot." But sometimes my questions don't need that much. I'm just trying to find some information. And instead of searching through a knowledge base or searching Google, I prefer to go on and chat with people, tech support people most of the time, because I can ask them a question, get the answer, get a transcript if I want, and then be done. I don't have to go through all this. So for me, I find a lot of times that capability works really well. So the fact that a lot of people may be nervous about chatbots shouldn't be, depending on the topic, right? Self-service is becoming more and more an issue in banking and all kinds of other businesses. I don't see this as that big of a deal. I mean, as far as people being nervous about it. The other thing is that the issue of the multiple bots and that's the way the real world works, right? You get somebody, they don't know the answer. Hang on, let me pass that on to my manager or somebody else. It would work the same way as in electronic and a AI method as it would in the real world.
Phone a friend. It's
Yeah.
basically like you said last time. If we treat them like people, these AI personalities that we're creating, which is what it is, it's an avatar, it's a persona. So if we have the marketing agent, we obviously should focus on just marketing with that agent,
Right.
not plumbing.
Yeah.
So build a plumbing bot that knows more about plumbing that the agent can direct people to if the question relates to plumbing. Say it's a service agent that the guy does building work, he does plumbing work, he does electrical work. You could have an electrical agent, plumbing agent, a construction agent, and a closing agent that could actually do the sales close.
Yeah,
So
as long as
a lot
the
of types
person, as long as the bot has the information, that's what most people I think are originally going to care about. Plus, it mimics the real world in the way we're doing it now, so most people would feel more comfortable with that, I would think.
Absolutely. So
Very
do you
cool.
have some other news that you wanted to drop on the table today? If not,
Let's
I think we
see.
should make a bot for you.
Oh yeah, make me a bot
Yeah.
or make
Did you,
me into a bot, one of the
I
two.
could do that too, maybe, but
Okay.
that might get a little complicated. But I do want to, let
Tell
me
me what
just
you
square
got.
up a phase here. Let me get into an area so you guys can actually see this. And I don't want to, this is where we were going to go with this anyway, but I kind of want to make it so that it's brand agnostic. I don't want to make this just my show. So I'm going to show a section of our builds that three of us have contained in our systems. And I just
Okay.
kind of want to run through this with people. So we'll build one for you. Actually show you how it works, but I got to get a screen the right size here. Before I do this. I want to make it too big here. I don't want to cut everything off either. One thing vMix lacks, Lee, and I think you know that. All right, there we go. So this is inside our AI employee bot builder. All right. And I have a couple of them already established here. These are generic bots. One was made for Best AI Podcasts originally. This is Ava. And then we also have one that I'm working on with Jim for his Cloud Bedrock build to connect it to a GHL build, which is similar to what we do here. Candid, which is one for my Best Studios bot. And then we have one also for just whatever we might need it for. We just have one for an insurance agent at this point. So I want to create an employee for you. And I think in this case, we're going to go full on custom. Now, I could make a bot based on an AI template that we have in our system, which could be an appointment booking bot, to reschedule a no-show, to check on quality of customer qualifications or onboarding, or whether they're getting good help from the customer service department. They could do follow-ups on meetings or other general interest topics, a lot of things that we've predetermined. But everybody's different, right? So a lot of times we like to just build these as custom templates. So in this case, what I need you to come up with for me is a conversational goal of an AI employee that you would need working for you under, let's say, your Cat Gizmos brand.
Okay.
And the way we're going to do that is kind of with ChatGPT.
Okay, cool.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say we have a brand known as Cat Gizmos. And tell me if I spell anything wrong. And I should probably do this with quotes so that they know exactly what I'm doing. It's always good to be as complete as possible when you're talking with the person over here at ChatGPT. When I say person, they're pretty darn close. And we'd like to, I wish I could do this by voice, and we'll be doing this soon by voice.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm hearing
We're
that
working.
mid-April they may actually be releasing audio.
Yeah. Create a conversational goal of a chatbot that will act as a customer service bot that handles Q&A. We'll just say inquiries in case I didn't understand what Q&A was. Orders, order requests, etc. We're just making this easy for now. We can always tweak this later.
Now, can I ask you a question
yeah,
while
go
you're
ahead.
doing this? How does this differ from creating a GPT, which I'm familiar with doing? So this
Not
looks like
much
you're
different.
you're just
But
typing this
it's
right
what
into the, okay.
happens after that. Yeah,
All
sorry, I
right,
didn't mean to
okay.
cut you off there,
No,
Leland.
no, that's okay. That's cool.
I'll
Thanks.
show you what I mean. So we're going to take this and just see whether or not, see what this comes up with. I just see what this will say. So it's got an objective. Okay. I like it. Okay.
And that's the thing most people, by the way, do not understand about running ChatGPT. You want to set it up as a persona. Say, okay, you're this, you're that. And you get much better results when you do that.
That's the other thing
Wow.
that I did not do in this case, but I kind of gave it an insight of where I was
Yeah,
headed.
you did. Okay. All
So
right.
it gave me an objective. The primary objective of Cat Gizmos customer service chatbot is to provide assistance and support to customers regarding inquiries, and its capabilities and its order assistance and its personality, whether it's friendly, knowledgeable, engaging, empathetic, and efficient, by defining these objectives, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to take this part right now, right? I just want what it's capable of, the objective of the goal. All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw that in here as the conversational goal of the employee. Now there's going to be a conversation purpose. So what is it we'd want them to actually, they know what they have to do now, but the real purpose is to get people to be aware of and sign up for more information about the Cat Gizmo brand. Okay.
Now, what is it you're typing this into now?
This is the actual bot builder.
Okay,
so
thanks.
This is part of our design package. Again,
okay.
The three of us, Ross, Chris, and myself, all own similar systems that we've built our foundational packages on.
Okay.
And we've tailored these to our own design features, our own brands, and everything else. And that's why we wanted to make this as agnostic as possible for everyone here. I call mine AIO agents. Ross calls his Avas, though I use the name Ava on one of my bots. And Chris is going to have a totally different name for his as well. They're branded differently in each case. He uses his for DJs. I use mine for AV mostly, and Ross uses his for insurance sales. And Chris also hunts down dentists and doctors with this too. So, so this is our goal and our purpose. So what's going to happen from here is we're going to say,
by the way, there should be an S under Gizmos. Just
okay, it'll figure it out.
Okay,
it's not really a big thing. It usually knows well enough. I probably just burned.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Cat Gizmos brand.
Yeah.
Is it Gizmos? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then from here, it's the industry would be. What would you say that industry is?
I would say pets industry.
Pet industry. How about pet? What's that
Health?
word? No, not like gadgets, kind of like what you're talking about there, but gosh, there's a word
toys, pet
accessories, pet accessories.
Yeah.
Accessory. I'll just say pet accessories. Company name, Cat Gizmos. Okay. Then we're going to hit next. We have an AI employee power. That's Chester, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then we've got his role. What do you say his title is?
He is the CFO, Chief Feline Officer.
Chief Feline Officer. I love it. Okay. Whoops. Put an E in there and a backslash. Okay. So we're going to create a bot. Bam. We let AI grow. And while it grows, it teaches itself how it's going to handle these conversations with your customers. And the way it does that is establishes stages in which,
I love the icon.
yeah, right,
That's cool.
in which it comes up with an introduction, and then the opening phrase that it's going to have for, you know, that introduction, and then it goes from there, and it helps redirect the person having the conversation with it to go wherever the bot needs it to. And if it
Wow.
starts to ask for a recipe, you know, if somebody comes on the chat bot and says, you know, I need a recipe for Fu Manchu soup or whatever, I don't care what you want to call it,
Sponge cake.
it won't do it
Uh-huh.
because it's been programmed not to. So
Okay.
that's the beauty of some of these. Now, this usually takes a few minutes, sometimes up to 5 minutes. We're just going to kind of cut
Wow.
away for a second while that continues to birth a bot.
That's pretty cool.
And when it's done, you'll see the entire structure that it created for us. And then what
Okay.
actually happens is we need to, oh, there, it's done already. So back to the bot.
Those cats are pretty fast. You know, they zoom
They
here and
are.
there.
So what it tells us is, congratulations, your AI-powered employee Chester was created. Just like onboarding a human employee, you'll approve the opening messages that'll be sent to the customer, set the working hours your AI employee works, and add your website's FAQ as training data so that your AI employee is an expert on your business. Give your AI-powered employee a communication tool for outreach, whether it's SMS, email, phone numbers, integrations with other third-party applications like Zapier or Pabbly, and then assign your AI employee leads inside your CRM that would allow it to then go after that list. So you see the objective we set. This is what we put into the bot originally, and this was the conversational purpose that we had. And what it did was created 6 stages: an opening message, and these are defaults with the system, so it's using my system name, AIO.
Oh, okay.
So it says, hi, AIO, Chester here from Cat Gizmos. I'm here to help you find the perfect accessories for your feline friend. How can I assist you today? And there's a split test of several of these that it randomly rotates through. And
You can edit them and change
yeah,
them.
you
And,
can edit these to however you'd like.
Very
You can have them
cool.
go out one day at a time, try again in 3 days, try again in a week, however many times you want it to try, and it'll continue to do so. So that's one advantage of that. And then we can even get a little advanced and say, okay, I want you to split test every, you know, so many messages to make sure the AI is trying to figure out that
And
it's
how does it
which one works
rate how does it know the split testing? Sorry to get granular on you. How does it
Oh no,
know?
that's all back end stuff that I don't really have display on, that I can't show you
Okay.
anything
But
that
I mean,
would represent the
which
tagging that gets
which
done.
one it responds to the best, or how does it know which is, when you say split testing, I think of A being this one, likes this one better than that one, or is you're saying just
It's really evaluating the conversations that it has. So
okay.
if somebody asks a particular question that it can't answer right away with this type of response, like they get a response back that makes no sense to them, then that one probably didn't work so well.
Got it.
So, but
Okay.
if it does get a valid response back that it can respond to, then it knows it's on the right track.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then it goes to the greeting. Now I can change this up and add as many other messages as I'd like in this stage as well. But then we want to kind of get it to the greeting stage, where this is where it greets the user. We tell it how, you know, introduce yourself as Chester, the Chief Feline Officer at Cat Gizmos, inform about the company's commitment to innovation, quality, and customer satisfaction. They revive the attempt 8 hours later if nobody answers, or 24 hours later after that, because in the realm of Facebook, you only have 24 hours to respond and grab someone in an IM chat legally under terms of service until they're not accessible to you anymore. You can't just go randomly spam them after 24 hours. So what we do is we create trigger actions now from these points. Where do we want to tag this person as unresponsive? Do we want to add them to a email drip campaign within an automation? Maybe add them to our sales pipeline? Or maybe remove a tag where we thought they were a hot lead and found out they're not answering the phone. So we're just going to sunset them and leave them go and not bother them anymore. Or we're going to hand them off to a human because we're not sure why they're not responding. Or just really set up a calendar booking. Maybe they'll respond to that. Shoot them a link and say, hey, maybe we don't want to talk on the phone. Maybe we should meet face to face, kind of thing. Or just opt them out completely.
That's cool.
This is where we could actually have a pro action take place and create an AI employee. If the person said something like, well, yeah, I love what you're doing, but I just want to talk to your salesman. Okay, I better drum one up real quick because I'm customer service. So
So, like, can I give you a scenario? Maybe
yeah,
we won't have to do it here, but maybe
no,
an
you're fine.
idea where, like, hey, I'm thinking about adopting a new cat,
Hmm.
and or maybe they've bereavement, maybe they've lost an animal and
Hmm.
they want some help. You want to be able to give them some advice, either one. But the point is, so you're saying I could do that here? I could, if I want to be able to give them how to find a new pet and where they would look, or if they're trying to adopt, that kind of a thing, I could use this for something like that?
You can really use these for just about anything because the beauty of the bots themselves, at any point in the stage, what they're referring to as a bot in general is their training. So regardless of what is at each particular stage, this is really just resolving issues. It's what
Okay.
goes on back here for the AI training data, which is really just a database of data that's
Mm-hmm.
developed on the back end. And we add these to the bots. Okay. So I have a database set here that was created when the bot was created before. If you remember, we started one a couple of weeks ago for you.
Oh, right,
And I
right.
had a database here. So I could literally switch between databases. So
Oh,
this one was
wow.
done in February. This is the new one we just created. Now what we do is we go to, what's your Cat Gizmos website name?
Catgizmos.com.
Okay, so we go in here and we take the catgizmos.com. Oops, that's the URL, sorry. And we drop that down here and we just put the name of the website here and we hit go.
Oh,
And what
for
it's going to
training
do,
data?
yeah, it's going to go ahead and start scraping your website and it's going to
Yeah,
find
not
every
much.
page on your website that has data that it can relate back to its customer. And
Hmm.
when that's done, it'll be part of its training data. So,
Yeah, probably the about page right now is the one that has our mission goals, but the rest of them are not, there's not that much there yet.
oh, that's okay. And if you wanted, you could actually have it just find or write content. So let's say you
Uh,
wanted it to just have all the information it could about the Purina Cat Chow page. You could
right.
upload the Purina Cat Chow page and have them be able to access that information. But
Hmm.
the big thing about that is when you have huge websites like that, it does cost to train the bot
Right.
in minute numbers, of course. But the fact is there's a lot of stuff that you don't want to train. So you have to go back through these. Like in this case, all right, that one stopped, it looks like. Let's see what happened here. Oh, it didn't manage to scrape them all yet. So is that got a HTTPS on it?
Yeah. Surprised it didn't work.
Cat Gizmos,
That's
CATGIZMOS.com.
right. Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get to the page first. Just want to make sure. Oh, that's another one I want to talk about today too before we leave. So we'll make this quick. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So the page is there. Sure. What happened? I wonder if you have a cloud. Is that running
No.
Cloudflare?
No. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Because they have a filter thing where they ask you if you're a human or not.
Okay. Try this again. What's the difference?
But try one. If you do the URL, try it at or just slash about, because I know there's text on
Oh, I
that
said
one.
that one wrong too. I
That's
spelled
all
that
right.
wrong. No, I spelled that wrong.
Oh,
But you get the point. And
yeah,
then
yeah, definitely.
what can actually be done besides this though is you could just add whatever data you want to it. So you
Got it.
could just take context or
So if I have
a
if I
wiki
have,
page.
got it.
Those are really nice to use a lot of times. And then you can actually do a find and replace. So if you wanted to on some of these, let's say you
Ah,
wanted to add content. Well, I think that maybe they took the find
it
and
was
replace out or
generic or
something.
something. You wanted to make sure the name was replaced. That's pretty cool.
Oh, they don't have, they must have dropped it for now. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's on our other bot. If you look at these bots here, when we train these bots, which is very similar in nature, these have small talk, Q&A, human rollover. They fill out forms. They send notifications when a form's been filled out. They send conversational summaries, and they handle negative topics by not answering them. So
Hmm.
in this case, these types of agents are very similar. They train in the same way with the same databases. But when we go to one like this, where I have Britannica, okay, an encyclopedia page, I can pick on the number of pages that were processed off of that website.
Oh,
And then I can either edit and preview the data that was scraped from that
nice.
page, and only take what I need, delete what I don't, or just turn that page off completely so it doesn't get assigned to the bot training.
Wow.
Okay, so
That's really, really nice. So let me see if I understand. So not only is it an interactive um knowledge base, which you can ask questions of and things like that, and it also then the other value seems like the follow-up, the ability to
yeah.
automate and follow up, contact people if they want more information and keep in touch. That, i.e., in most cases, relates to being better customer service.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the stats alone, let me just say one thing about this chatbot when it's connected, that's the agent one especially. So with the one that we just created for you as Chester, it put in its own little girl face here. I would replace this with your Chester, of course. But here, when we connect it to the communication tools is where it really shines, because
Yeah.
not only can we connect it to any third-party telephone, VoIP service like Plivo or Twilio, but we can also connect it to third-party automation systems like Zapier and Pabbly via close agent webhooks. And SMS and outbound email are our other options. SMS is really where it does the best because it's short, concise, simple. People are on their phones. It can hand off to someone real on another phone and hand back to the agent on the original call. So there's just a lot of handheld loveliness to it.
Wow.
But when you start talking about email, you can't get a bot to like figure out how to reply to an email yet. That's a tricky one. So we're working on it, but that's
Hmm.
next. The next stage, though, is just like we said, Lee, it's voice. And
Yeah.
we are already in the middle of producing bots that will talk on the phone with you and answer questions. And when you ask it things, it has enough relay time to be able to access GPT or whatever database it's been trained in to get the answer and reply within that Waverly seconds of time that we have to respond to someone
That's
as we need.
amazing.
That's crazy.
That's so cool.
So that's just a run through. That's not even all of it. We can assign work to those agents. We can assign numerous amounts of training data. We can provide all the brand data that we need so that the bot never hallucinates on other brands.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody asks about tea and you sell, what's the name of that fancy green tea that they sell overseas all the time? That's the brand you want to wrap it around, is that specific brand, not just the green tea brand. You
Mm-hmm.
want it to be your brand. And when it
Right.
asks a question, or if somebody asks a question about a product that you're selling, you don't want it to spin off and
Wow.
start describing some other brand's product, which it could do.
Now, can it also display images if it's saying, hey, if it's trying to, give you information, can it also embed an image in there?
There's limitations to image embedding because a lot of
Okay.
that becomes a prompt issue. Okay.
Yeah.
We can send the links to the images,
Uh,
and depending on how the code gets written to display and actually render within the chat widget,
mm-hmm.
how deep you want to go with that. You can
I
certainly
see.
render images like for real estate bots. That's really good stuff, because then you can ask for a listing of a home with so many rooms, so much square footage, however old you want it to be, or in what type of home, and bam, you've got pictures of those homes showing up in the chat widget.
Now, how would you refer to this bot versus a bot that's more like I've played a little bit with some bots that say, "Hey, find me." You're talking about homes. Find me a
Mhm.
home between this price and this zip code, and it goes out and it just keeps looking and looking and looking, and when one shows up, it alerts you. It's a different kind of approach, right?
Yeah, that's actually an API monitoring
Okay,
automation, more so than an AI automation. And
okay,
really, AI automation is kind of a misnomer. AIs are added to automations as means of either writing instant code while you're building automations. You'll have AI included into the builder so that you can automate some JavaScript within that build that you're doing. AI can answer back in an automation by having access to an API end on OpenAI, get an answer to the person's question,
hmm,
bring it back into the flow, and have that continue on. But as far as AI automations, that's something next level. That's where you're
yeah,
talking robotic type stuff, where you're creating full on automations with AI, like we just saw with those little robots. That's true AI automation.
I see.
Because the AI is walking, the AI is
Right.
looking and thinking and doing all this processing to do what it has to do in
Well,
a real environment.
see, to me, this is exactly, people worry about AI and what it can do and can't do in their job, but you need experts. You need people that are knowledgeable to feed these things. So it seems like, you should, instead of fearing it, adapt to it, adopt it, learn how can I take my information I already know and use these tools to help improve and to, make my job even better.
I totally agree. There was another app I wanted to pull up because I know we're already to the 8 o'clock hour. We got a short few start here today, but oh, look at there. There is an example
Hey,
of some of
that's a
these
great looking sign.
beautiful Chester. This is who we're building the chatbot or the chatbot for the cat. We'll call it a catbot. Right?
There you go, catbot. Oh,
It's
perfect.
not a
I love it.
chatbot, it's a catbot.
That's right. It's a catbot.
So go take a look at catgizmos.com for Lee's sake and go see what he's got going on over there. One that came up in our feed, Lee, just the other day that you mentioned to Chris, and I'll let Chris cover this when he comes back next week.
Okay.
But I think this looks really cool, right? It's called Udio.
It's getting a lot of attention. I'm in, there's some things that people are saying it's better than Suno, and some things it's not quite as good as Suno.
Okay, tell me about it.
The thing, well, my little bit of experience with just playing with it was, the thing I loved about it was the multiple voices, the background vocals, hearing more people singing, harmonizing. I think it did a really, really good job in that area. And so, the nice thing is for consumers, we now have more choices. We have Suno, and now we have this product, and it looks like it's going to be very, very good.
Sure. I'm going to actually, I was hoping to get, let's see, I'm going to put my other handle in here.
The other thing that I've been maybe I mentioned this last week, I've been kind of interested in is these new products that let you separate music into stems. Meaning, so, if you have a song and you want to pull out the drums, or you're trying to learn to play guitar, you want to play something out, then you could just pull out that instrument and create it separately.
Yeah, and that's something, there's some little software tools, open source, that allow you to pull out things like that. Suno is allowing you to download stems now. Oh, you're talking with someone else. So I just gonna
Oh, you
take
heard me?
No, I just saw you mouthing your
Oh,
lips.
I'm sorry. I was
and
talking.
didn't
The
hear you.
cat's over here yelling at the gate. I'm like telling her to. That was what like he's like jibber jabber. I didn't want her.
No,
Anyway,
it's all
sorry.
good. So I'm going to show the screen here real quick on Udio. I'm sure it's Udio. The first button at the top is Discover, which is where I like to go normally, just to see, it says here, learn how to create. So you'd be able to click that button to figure out how to make your first audio track or video. I mean, I don't know. These guys look like little video playbacks. So I just want to kind of play one real quick. Hold on a second. You hearing that?
Not through Zoom, but I can turn on my audio and hear it through. See if I'm hearing it through Facebook.
Nope, it's not going through. Hold on a second. Okay, you guys should be able to hear it now. Out there, anyway. I don't know why you're not hearing it. That's weird. We'll get that around. No, I'm really impressed with the voice. I'll say that much,
Yeah.
Lee. I know you can't hear that right now because I can't get the audio
I
back
can
on
hear
the
it
video.
through Facebook.
Oh, okay. That was pretty impressive, I gotta say. Much cleaner than the song that we created for Best AI Podcast off Suno, and only because the voices seemed to be trilly. They were like, la, 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 and you hear all this like wave in their voice that you could tell it was synthesized. That did not sound like a synthesized voice.
And that's what I'm hearing people say too, that you can tell that Suno is AI, but this, if you heard it on the radio, you wouldn't be able to tell.
And that's where it gets spooky.
Well, yeah, but here's the interesting thing. How long has it been? A month? I mean, that's the cool thing about this stuff. Suno 3.0 came out. We're all like, wow, this is great. Now these guys come out, boom. I love that part about the technology. Just leapfrogs one after another. And we're the beneficiary of that.
We really are. And I still hear people complaining. I mean, I'm in a band, okay?
Yeah.
And I sing backup mostly. I don't really play an instrument in the band, but we have a lot of we have a composer, we have an audio engineer, top-notch guys. These guys go way back, and some of them are just amazing talents. And when I pulled up Suno, they almost cringed. And the more I think about it, the more I think they don't have a right to.
Right.
Because how did they learn? How did you learn how to play the guitar? How did you learn how to play the drums? Well, you listened to Greg Beck and Jeff Beck and every other
Yeah.
Beck and Wally and whoever was singing and dancing and playing. You copied their stuff.
Yeah.
You learned their stuff.
And then you improvise.
Yes. How
Yeah.
is it any different? It's not.
It's not. And that's exactly my argument. People that complain about photographers or artists, they all are trained on the masters and they copy and they look at that work, learn brushstrokes, learn the techniques, learn composition, and then they
Sculpture,
mimic it.
same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't learn anything without copying the greats. That's
Right.
just really anything that you do, whether it's building a business or creating art or just really building a good family. You follow by example.
Yep.
And
And
that's
you take
all
and put
AI
your
is doing is
you
following
put
by example.
your own spin on it, right? Your own personality, your own values, and that's what makes it yours.
Yeah, and we don't want copycatters out there. And we
No.
certainly don't want people playing Picasso and trying to sell stipple art on the,
No.
black market as though it's
Right.
Picasso. That's against the law anyway, like we
Yeah.
all know.
By the way, speaking of which, I wrote a post, I think it was on LinkedIn about that, and I said that most people didn't realize that Monet and Seurat were kind of made fun of when the term impressionism, apparently, I did some research on this, was kind of a derogatory term, and it was because it wasn't real art to them and they were kind of making fun of it, so it wasn't really accepted right away. And the same thing with pointillist and Seurat, the same thing. And so I think AI is the same, getting the same approach and a treatment right now, but eventually it'll just become part of our lives and we'll just accept it.
I just don't know what the pushback is. I get that artists are feeling threatened.
Yeah,
Okay. I do.
I
Because
get that.
if they're writing jingles for some commercial
Hmm.
company and that's what they do for a living, and all of a sudden all that commercial company has to do is go use AI to write their jingles
Right.
from now on, that guy's on the street. That is
Well,
one of those places where people could lose their jobs. Now we know
what
this.
happened to the guy selling newspapers on the street corner? What happened to the guys
Yeah,
that used to
same.
deliver milk to your house? What about long distance operator? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But hopefully, these people found new jobs, moved on, used their skill set, and maybe it was a better job than what they had
Better
before.
musician, a
Yeah,
better writer, a better songwriter, a
yeah,
better melody creator, a person who couldn't write music now suddenly can. A
yeah.
person who didn't know how to make music figured out, oh wow, if I just play with these genres and come up with some ideas in my head, I can be a songwriter
Well, it's interesting
and
you
then
say that
share
because
that.
my wife asked me just the other day, said, if there's something you wanted to be able to do, what would it be? And I said, I always wanted to learn to play an instrument. I
Mhm,
almost took up the saxophone in sixth grade and I didn't. I
mhm,
can't even play the blues harp. It's awful. But that doesn't mean I'm not creative. It doesn't mean I don't
yeah.
have ideas. So with these tools, now I could apply my ideas and concepts to making music. And to me,
Mhm.
that's exciting.
And for me as a video producer, I spend a lot of my time looking for and coming up with intro and outro music for events or podcasts like this, just little stuff that we need for backing tracks on videos all day long. I don't have the time or the effort or the money, if I don't need to go out and spend it on someone else to get a 2-minute plug that I need,
Right.
when I can create one very efficiently on the fly in about 30 seconds.
Well, it's
Why
kind of
wouldn't I
interesting when
want to
you
do that?
I know. It's kind of interesting when you think about how many notes there are and how many songs have been produced based on those same notes. It's pretty interesting.
There is a website out there, and I don't know how we can access it, but there were a couple of engineers, audio engineers, who determined there's only so many melodies in the world that
Yeah.
can be created. That's it. There's a limit to the number of melodies that can be created on a keyboard, let's say. Well, they've mapped them all. And they've basically wanted it to be that everyone should have open access, open source access to these melodies. Because you can't, anybody can scrape off of that and make a new song out of it. It's just a melody.
Right.
It's just a track, it's a riff or whatever you might want to call it. But they've been able to reproduce all those melodies with AI, every one of them.
Yeah.
And it's something that we now need to consider. Is there really anything original left?
Well, and it's the same thing that I tell photographers that I train, in that the trick, look, there's nothing new under the sun. It's always the same thing. There's only 4 things you can change on any camera: aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and maybe focus. And other than that, that's it. So what makes a camera different? What makes your view? Well, your own personality, your own background, the movies you listen to, the music, the books you read, how you grew up, where you grew up. All that influences your ability to make unique photographs. It's the same thing with AI and music.
I agree. Well, I don't have much more, Lee. I think we made it to the hour.
Okay, man. I told you that we don't have a problem with the gift of gab being able to fill an hour.
And we've got so much to cover. We missed a lot this week. A lot did happen. We will be building upon that when we bring the crew back in. But I really would recommend anyone head out to Udio, or Udio. I don't know what they call it. Udio.
I think it's
Udio.
audio without an A.
Audio without an A. Okay.
That's where I look at Udio.
I gotcha. Udio. Okay. So Udio beta, which is at udio.com.
Yeah, it's free, by the way.
Yeah. Grab it
right now.
Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to show people real quick before we leave, Lee. This was one that I came across just the other day, and I found it pretty interesting, let's just say. So I just want to touch on this for a second. If you guys noticed while we were out here, there was this little icon on the right side of my window over here, and I'm not going to really be able to zoom in on this, but this is what's called, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen for you so you get a better understanding. If it's gonna. I'll go to the settings. So we've got this little icon on the side that lets me do just about anything I want. It's called Max AI Me. And it's an extension for Chrome. Okay. Now this extension, let's get up here and play with it. That's not the one. Hold on. For some reason it didn't want to stay up on the screen there. So I'm going to pin it up there and pull it up. So what this allows you to do basically is anywhere you're on a website, let's say I'm on Facebook, and I'm about to fill in something on a Facebook post, and I'm going to comment over here and see what's going on. You'll notice right away, edit or review the draft. I get a quick compose button where now I can compose with key points a Facebook post on the fly.
Wow.
With AI built into my browser. Now the beauty of this AI component, if I can get to it. Okay, it looks like Alt-J brings it up. So again, I'm just learning this one. I haven't really played with it yet. Okay, so this one allows me to do searches. It picks my language, so I can pick it in any language. It gives me 10 times my productivity by being able to ask AI anything. It can summarize and ask anything I ask it on a page. It gives me the AI-powered search. It creates AI art and images. Okay.
Wow.
So it just forms this little overlay wherever you go on the internet, where you can just access and even switch between literally all the GPT, Claude. There were a couple other models that it's using also. So it's not just a single model software. And that allows you to kind of get into this immersive chat routine where you can just keep asking AI stuff. Oh, here it is right here. So I can get to, let's see, I can get to Chat GPT 3.5 Turbo, 4 Turbo, Claude 3 Opus, Claude 3 Sonic, Claude 3 Haiku, Gemini Pro, Claude 3 or Claude 2, Claude 2 1, Gemini Pro, free AI, and any other third-party provider that have an API for. So
wow.
it's kind of, where we see it going.
That's even more much nicer than the one I have, which allows me to summarize a page and or a document. It'll just give me a now. This also goes beyond something I thought would be a great tool, and I understand why people wouldn't want it. Let's say you go to Facebook and there's this, or Reddit's maybe better, and you have this long thread. Wouldn't it be cool if they were to have at the top of the thread a summary of all of the things that are going on in that thread?
Oh yeah.
They want you to scroll through and read it, but I don't want to have to. I want to know what this thread is about and what are the best answers. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yep, and I think that's more than possible. It's just even on this one, it allows me to summarize web pages in an instant or an email in an instant.
I was going to say it looks like it even does what you want, even what I want, even more.
Yeah, and it's not a free app, obviously. There is a free aspect to Max AI, but as far as getting it in your hands and getting it on your system, you'd have to head over to their software site, which is maxai.me, where you can sign in and actually get.
And is that MAC or MAX?
MAX.
Okay.
AI.me. And you'll see where you can just sign in. They have one for Chrome, Edge, and the one-click prompts as well. They also have an affiliate program for anybody into that kind of thing. But from what I saw of it, if you're spending money on an AI, I think you'd do better to have something that you can use instantly at your side that actually is giving you the access to all of the different models rather than just one.
Yeah.
You know, it's about $40 though a month. I think it starts at like 19 for the cheap one, and then it works its way up.
A month?
Yeah, if you get into the heavy stuff, if you want to add on to it. But as far as adding it to your as an extension, you can add it for free and play around with some of the stuff on it. But if you want to really get into the depth of it, it costs a little bit. So, all right. Anything else, Lee, before we wrap up?
Nope, that's it. Thanks, man. Enjoyed it as usual. Always enjoy talking to you. Thanks for the info on the bot. You got me excited about creating a bot now for Cat Gizmos.
Yeah, I think we need to get you on one and have it on the website so people can go play with Chester and hang out with him. All right, everybody. We are out of here. We'll see you next Sunday, 7 p.m. And hopefully some of our regulars will be back. If not, in the meantime, head over
Unless they're fired because they lost their job.
To AI, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Head over to bestaipodcast.tv for all the replay buttons that you can follow to get over to our YouTube and our Facebook pages, and over at Acast where we play the audio only. We have 2 replays coming out, one from last week and one from this week, because we got a little behind on cutting and editing the last episode. So we'll see you next week, Lee. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks. See you.
Everyone. Have a great weekend.
This digital age, we're breaking the mold. Fusion, let the story unfold. From life to business, the future is here. Unlock the potential, make it crystal clear. It's time to fuse, let the sparks ignite. AI in action, reaching new heights. Life and business blending into one. The journey's just